Hello, 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 hello to another professional week with professional new friends. And this week we're being graced by Grace. How are you? Who are you?
Hi, thank you so much for having me. My name is Grace O'Halloran. I am a senior data engineering consultant working for Advancing Analytics. I've sort of been in the data industry for about 6 years now. I live in England, in Leeds.
Cool.
Awesome.
And what would be your. Oh, by the way, we did not have anybody from that part of the country or that part of Europe yet. So this will be
Nice.
interesting towards the end of the episode. I'm already feeling hungry. Spoiler alert. But first things first, you've been working in data for a couple of years now. Do you have a favorite data feature or tool? Anything that gets you, I mean, data gets you obviously super excited. Otherwise, you would not have stayed in that field. But
Yeah, true.
is there anything in particular?
Over like the last maybe I'd say 2 or 3 years, I've kind of moved into an area of specialism around network security of data platforms, which I think is something that people don't really associate with data. But I know a lot of my colleagues and friends who work in that space, we're kind of expected, especially as like engineers or people that deal with the platform side of things or the infrastructure side of things, we're kind of just expected to know how all the networking works now as well, and no one really teaches you it. At least no one really taught me it, so I kind of had to
Mhm.
just figure it out for myself. But I found that I actually quite like it. I see it as kind of a problem that needs to be solved, and I quite enjoy that kind of side of it. So I kind of just ended up getting quite deep in that area, and now I really enjoy doing that, and I enjoy speaking about it as well, and like teaching other data people a little bit about networking to make it hopefully a bit less scary.
I will agree with you. That networking is one of the scariest things for me. Like any
Yeah.
network problem, I'm like, oh no. But
Right.
I watched your talk from Bits about networking and private endpoints and things, and it
Mm.
made so much more sense than anything I've
Oh,
watched
I'm
before.
glad.
But
I'm
still,
so
very
glad.
scary.
Yeah, I just think it's not something that people really talk about,
Mm.
especially in terms of specifics. And when I do talks and when I write blog posts, I like to kind of get quite specific about problems. Like I like that's the
Mm.
angle I like to give. Kind of here's a problem that I struggle to fix, but I figured out how to fix it, and now I'm going to tell you how to fix it or how it works, and kind of straight
Yeah.
to the point. Because no one else is really doing that. And when I'm kind of looking for that information, I struggle to find it around networking related to data platforms specifically. I mean, it is
Hmm.
a niche area,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
a lot of people struggle with it. So, yeah, I enjoy sharing that content. Glad people find it useful.
for sure. Then the other benefit of blogging about it is when you've forgotten about it in 6 months, you can just go read your own blog.
Yeah, the amount of times I've done that is really embarrassing. As a client has asked me a question, I'm like, oh, 1 second, let me just pull up my blog post. I'm sure
Yeah,
I
like
have an
here's one I
answer
wrote
for this.
earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
literally.
Thanks,
It
past
always,
Grace.
yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
it does feel a little bit weird sometimes, like sharing your own blog posts to like clients and stuff, because I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but it's like I already put the work into figuring this out. I've already written it in a really nice, concise way. So read
Exactly.
this
Yeah.
instead of me explaining it again.
Yeah,
Definitely
totally.
useful.
Yeah, I have
And
like
I,
2 or 3 blog posts that I continually look up because I know
Yeah,
there's a bit of code in there that's very useful
you,
and I just
yes,
can't remember where I put it apart from there. So, yeah,
exactly.
no shame in that.
and I think promoting your own blog posts, if they actually cater to the actual problem
Yeah,
that you're being faced with, I think that's more than fair. It shows
okay.
your expertise in the area rather than
Hmm.
anything else, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah,
And especially
That's
when it
totally.
true.
comes to stuff like networking, I think there's like two groups: those that think they don't have to care about it, and those that
Mm,
think that understood how it works, but they have no clue. There's a very small group of people that actually understand it, and
yeah,
people don't really get how important it really is because
yeah.
that's
Well,
kind
and
of
how
where
hard to
all
figure
your
it out
stuff gets
too.
exposed. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, sure, public endpoint sounds easy. That makes it easy for you to do data,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And I think, yeah, it's just one of those things as well where Azure, in a way, kind of makes it easier to do a lot of the networking because you can kind of just click buttons and deploy a virtual network super
Yeah.
quickly, and that's fine. But then as soon as it breaks, it's like, okay, what's actually going on under the hood
Uh-huh.
here. And what it's not great at is actually showing you how those things are all put together. And when stuff breaks, I feel like, well, 9 times out of 10 for me, it's always the networking. And it's quite difficult to figure out how to fix it or what even's going on, especially if you don't understand like even just the fundamentals. Like I'm not really a networking expert. I don't come from a networking background, it's just something that I've found myself in, but just having that just a fundamental knowledge of what's going on has really helped me get out of a lot of sticky situations, for sure.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, unless some Microsoft engineers played with BGP again, then everything's broken. Nobody can fix it. Not that has happened this year.
Oh dear. Yeah, I feel like the networking is always the thing we want to blame too, right? Like,
I mean, rightly
it's easy to
so.
point the finger.
It nearly always is the case. I'd say 9 times out of 10 it's networking, and 8 times out of those 9 it's DNS is usually.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah. How many
Yeah.
days it wasn't DNS? Yeah.
Hang on. Let's not forget about that.
Yeah, that is pesky for sure. Caused
It
me
was
many
DNS
headaches.
for me this morning.
Yeah.
Because I was cleaning up some old records and then realized, oh, apparently there is an app that is actually still using that thingy.
Hmm.
So when you say old records, not so
Well,
old.
they were technically still very old.
But still
This is
being
why-
used.
this is why-
They just weren't as obsolete as I thought they'd be. So.
Right. This is why I recommend hoarding. If you keep everything, it won't break, right?
Yeah, I am
Yeah.
very scared of deleting things, especially when
Oh,
everything's
yeah.
working, because you
Yeah,
never know
totally.
what that one little thing is holding everything up.
Well, and it would be nice if you could rename stuff old. Like with SQL Server, any objects that I want to delete or get rid of, I like to just rename them, right? Because it's a really quick switch back if someone's like, "Whoa, where did my things go?"
Yeah,
But not sure that works in Azure as well.
yeah. I mean, you could have old versions of DNS records, I guess. They'd still be being used though.
Exactly. So it wouldn't break, would it?
It wouldn't work.
Oh well,
Yeah, no.
good time.
I need to have things tidy. My inbox is always empty.
Is
Really?
it? Oh.
If that
I'm
gives you an
envious
idea
of that. Yeah, I want to be that person really badly, but I know I have like 4,000 emails in my inbox.
You never know when you might need them. Ben's
It's
just got a
too
folder
much.
where he puts them all.
Yeah, it's too much of a mammoth task now. I think I tell myself it's too
Oh,
late
yeah.
to start being
Yeah, yeah.
organized.
It's not like I delete everything, Jess. I keep those emails. I just keep them in separate folders so I could
Folders,
still
yeah.
find them without being overwhelmed by what have I actually read, what not, and stuff. So
Yeah.
and that means I cannot keep DNS records. I don't think we need anymore.
I think you are right.
Fine, whatever. If we're gonna
Okay.
live in a van, we can't be hoarders, so I'll work on it.
That's true.
There's that. It's the tiniest of tiny homes, so we need to make sure. Plus, we're abducting all these people, it's not adopting. So we need space for them as well, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Even if
They
it's
might
only
they
one.
might
at a
bring
time.
their own DNS records with them.
exactly.
Is that the digital way of saying everybody has baggage, or what? Are we
I think so. Everyone has a bag of old
Everyone has
DNS
their own
records. They
DNS
bring 'em.
records.
Yeah.
I love that.
Perfect. Oh my.
What is happening?
Yeah. Well, that was a good random favorite data thing. I feel like that's
It is
gonna
very
be.
random.
I would be surprised if we find another data friend who chooses networking specifically for data platform stuff, right? So,
Yeah,
that
I
is-
mean, most
I like
people
that.
hate it, so at least that's what I've found.
True.
Someone's
Then
gotta
again,
love it, right?
Yeah.
in last year's SQL Bits community keynote, when we were basically also asking people about their favorite data thingy, Alexander Arvidsson was also actually talking about public endpoints for SQLDB and why that's a horrible idea. So,
Awesome. Okay.
So I'm not alone.
oh, there's two of you in the whole wide world. So.
We'll introduce you.
Thank you.
You can create some kind of weird support group. But
Yeah, I need that.
I don't know what the official minimum number for people is, so I can get like club jackets or something. But I'm sure at 2 you can at least get some.
Yeah, I think
so
2. Yeah.
network fan club.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's a very exclusive club.
It's a very elite club.
Yeah. The only
Sometimes
requirement
that's
is
the
you
best,
have to
right?
like networking.
Ah, there'll be a test too, so you can't fake it. You need to be able to set up that whole 7-step process you talked about in your talk.
Yeah.
You can't do that, you're not in.
Good test.
I'm thinking
So
you should start a band like Grace and the Endpoints.
I like that.
I like that. I like that too.
Quick career
I like that.
change.
Yeah. It
Just
could be a
slightly.
side hobby.
Yeah, true. Can do both.
There we go.
Is a great segue into our second question. So when you're not doing data platform networking in Azure, what do you like to get up to? What is your favorite non-data thingy?
So at the moment, I'm really big into powerlifting. So I do a lot of weightlifting and go to the gym a
Awesome.
lot. I actually have my first powerlifting competition this weekend, actually. So I've been
Amazing.
training for quite a long time towards that. It's been taking up a lot of my time.
Love it. How did I not know this about you?
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Is
not
this like a
something I
secret
speak
hobby?
about. It's not something I speak about very often. I think I'm quite nervous about the competition, so I don't want to tell people that
Well,
I'm doing it. Although I've just
by the
outed
time
myself
this,
now.
yeah, that's true. By the time this comes out, it will be in the past. So hopefully it went
That's true.
well. And
Yeah, fingers
you're now like
crossed.
a champion of the world.
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully.
Awesome.
I'm not aiming to win. I'd be nice to like not come last, I think. That's
Yeah,
that's my goal.
totally.
I'm feeling
You
entirely guilt shamed by this entire, not just this episode, but this entire podcast. Hey, I'm Rosie. Yeah, well, my kids are snapping. I'm just going for a triathlon. Nothing big. Hi, I'm Martha. Well, I'm going skiing for like 90 kilometers this weekend.
Oh yeah.
I'm just powerlifting. It's kind of a thing that I'm enjoying.
See, yeah,
I like
that's
food.
awesome.
There we go.
I also
Well,
like
that's,
food. I
I
have to
only
eat a
work
lot.
out so I can eat, right? Exactly, yeah. As a
Yeah,
powerlifter
yeah.
too, you need all them
Yeah,
calories for sure.
I have to get a lot of protein, which is quite tough. Like sometimes I'm just like chugging protein powder at night, kind of like I'm so full, but I need to hit my protein goal,
Yeah, yeah.
which yeah. But it means that I
Just
can eat a lot of
boiled
nice
eggs.
food. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
So how
It's
long have
good
you been
fun.
doing powerlifting? You said this is your first comp, right?
Yeah, this is my first competition, so I've not been doing it too long. I sort of started lifting probably about a year and 3 months ago, kind of the beginning of last year. But then I sort of got a coach about 9 months ago and been working
Awesome.
with her and kind of training towards the competition for about 6 to 9 months. Yeah, so it's a fairly new hobby. But
Oh,
yeah,
that's
I
awesome.
broke my leg like 2 years ago, and so that was kind of my way back into the gym, was kind of doing the weight stuff, just ultimately wanting to feel a bit more stable and like secure, and not
Yeah,
wonky. My physio kind of recommended it, but then it turned out that I just loved it so much, so I decided to like
that's
put all my
awesome.
energy into it.
Very
So,
cool.
as usual, when we're talking about sports, I have no idea what's actually going on. I think that's for another theme on this podcast. Hey, Liz. I still have to watch that video of that totally made up sports thing, by the way. So,
I'm
um,
sure Grace has heard about netball,
Yeah, I do
and
know. I used to
it's
play
not a made
netball.
up sport.
Yeah,
See?
I used to
Used to
play
play.
netball at school.
yeah, but I'm pretty sure there was some kind of briefing going on behind the scenes while I wasn't looking. So,
It's all a
Well,
I'm not sure
they're
conspiracy.
that.
both from Leeds,
But
so
anyways, let's assume. And I was
Ah.
going to say Powerball because I even forgot that it was called netball. That's as bad as it was. So then again, Powerball is a lottery, so that's also a thing.
yeah.
Anyways, coming back to my
Focus,
question.
focus.
Yes, no more rabbit holes. So I assume powerlifting basically means you're lifting weights. So if you're going
Yep.
into a competition, is it about how heavy it is, how long you can hold it? What is that?
Yeah, so there are like different types of competitions. You've probably seen like strongman competitions like on the TV. It's not like that. Powerlifting is three specific lifts. So it's a deadlift, which is just lifting the barbell off the floor. And then there's a barbell back squat. So just squatting with the barbell on your back and then coming back up again. And then the bench press, where you're lying on a bench and you have to press it like that. So it's just the 3 lifts, and it's just about how heavy you can lift on each of the 3, and then they add all 3 of the lifts together, and that's your like result for the competition. But there's
I
like
like how you
commands for
say
each of
just.
the lifts. Well, yeah. I mean, you don't have to like lift it for a really long time, I guess. You just have to hit the lift. But yeah,
Just
there's
one
like
time.
you can like there's lots of fouls and stuff like that. Like with the squat, you have to get to a certain depth, otherwise it doesn't count and things like that. So I think that's the thing I'm most nervous about, because I've not done that before with someone kind of shouting commands at me.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be an experience. That's awesome. But you only get 3 chances, Ben. So you
Yeah.
have to like say what weight you're going to do and then
Yeah, so you
make
get
that
3
weight.
chances at each lift. So it's like 9 lifts in total. But yeah, you have to decide what weights you want to go for. So I'm going to start out, like my first lift is going to be something that I know I can do, and then I'll try and like push myself, see what I can get on the
Yeah.
day. Hopefully
I
the
mean,
adrenaline and the atmosphere.
Oh, yeah, totally.
if we
You can
had
always
known that
count
it would
on
have
it.
helped you training getting shouted at by people, we would have shouted at you for the past 15 minutes. You just should
Got
have
a
told
German
us.
you can borrow.
Yeah.
You could shout angry German at you. It would be even better.
I live to serve. So, Grace, I hear you very much into protein powder. Would you also say that's your favorite food? I hope not,
Definitely not.
because
That's really
Jess and I will
boring.
be hungry driving by with our van. And
Yeah.
I want to say we don't want to go with protein powder. I'm only
No.
speaking for myself, but Jess, I guess you're
I
also
quite
looking
like
for some.
protein powder.
Okay,
You get a good one.
Yeah, I
I
mean they
think
can be
that's
all
fair.
right, but I wouldn't say it was my favorite food. Definitely not.
Right.
I would say that so I'm vegan, so whenever I say anything, it's like I guess the vegan version of it. But my favorite
This is
food
perfect.
is lasagna. I absolutely love lasagna, and I feel like I make quite a good like vegan lasagna as well. My partner's not vegan, but he says that it's one of the best lasagnas he's ever tasted. He might be lying to me, but
Go with
I
it.
think
That's
it's
fine.
pretty good. Yeah.
All relationships need some lies in them.
Yeah. Right.
Hey, Kels. No, I like that because when we were driving through Atlanta talking to Ree, I basically had the choice between a burger and what
Ribs, I
was
think it was.
ribs.
Yeah.
I'm vegetarian, so I'm
Yeah.
not vegan, but still, I'm not super
And then
happy
she
with ribs.
suggested fries, but the fries were also potentially not vegetarian.
Well, they were fried in duck fat, so
Yeah.
and they probably had bacon all over it, just because. Why not?
Yeah. Why not?
Because America.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for this for weeks now to finally get something that does not have meat in it. So thanks, Grace.
There you go.
I'm looking
There you
forward
go.
to
You're
some
welcome.
vegan
Save the
lasagna.
day.
Yeah.
Ben has
I'll
managed
make
to
you
eat
one.
once in our 10 weeks or however long we've been in the van.
Finally.
I mean, we're
Perfect.
nearing the end episode, but I feel like pushing that button. So just because I love pushing that button.
It happened. We got excited about both networking and powerlifting, and then we got to 15 minutes before you even noticed. So, Grace, before we abandon the van for this week, how can we find you on the internet if we want to find out how you're powerlifting or networking is going?
Yeah, so I'm on LinkedIn and Twitter just under my name, which I think should be on the screen somewhere. And then I also have here or here somewhere. And then
Professional.
I also have a blog at thinkingacloud.com as well, where I post lots of stuff about networking.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. It's been great to get to know you and share your favorite things with the friends.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, and see you all next week.
See you later.
Bye.